Hello everyone, this is teacher Susie and welcome to my class. In this video, we are going to discuss about the operations on radical expressions, and we will focus in this video about the operation, addition, and subtraction. Okay, so one of my references is the learning modules that is used by grade 9 students in Valenzuela City. So this lesson can be found in lesson number 7 of the learning module, page 22. Alright, so if you could still remember in algebra, okay, in addition and subtraction of algebraic expressions, meron tayong tinatawag na similar or like and dissimilar or unlike terms. Alright? So, kung naaalala, in algebra, we can only combine similar or like terms. And that is also the same rule that we are going to apply in addition and subtraction of radical expressions. So, we can only combine similar or like radicals. Alright? So, how can we know that radicals are similar or radicals are like or the same? Okay? So, masasabi natin na ang radical expressions ay similar or like radicals if they have the same index and radicand. So, ano nga ulit yung index and radicand na yan? So, again, if we have, let's say, the cube root of 4. So, the index is this small number on the upper left of the symbol. So, this is the index. And the radicand is, or the number, or it can be a variable or any terms inside the radical sign. So the radicand here is 4. Okay, so again, similar or like radicals are those radicals that have the same index and the same, or those radicals that have the same radicand. At yun lang yung mga radicals na pwede nating i-combine, pwede nating i-add or i-subtract. So let's have example of like radicals or similar radicals. Okay, let's have examples of them. Let's say we have 2 square root of 3. Okay, ayusin natin konting sulat. And 4 square root of 3. So, these two radicals are like or similar radicals because they're index. So, wala tayong nakikitang small number on the upper left. So, it means that the index is 2 because that's a square root. So, pareho sila. And at the same time, they have the same radicand, which is 3. That's why we can say that these two radicals are similar radicals. Another one. If we have 5x square root of xy and the other radical which is 2x square root of xy. So, pareho sila ng index ay 2 because this is square root and the radicand we have xy. So, these two are similar radicals. So, we don't care kung magkaiba man yung numbers na nasa labas. We have here 5x and 2x. Okay? Okay lang po yan. What's important is that they have the same index and radicand. Another example. 7a cube root of 5. And the other one is a cube root of 5. So, the indexes of our radicals is 3, the same. And the radicands are also the same, which is 5. So, these are the examples of like radicals. Let's have example of those that are unlike radicals or dissimilar radicals. Okay, so if we have like or similar, we also have unlike or dissimilar radicals. Let's say we have 5 square root of 2 and 7 square root of 3. So, the same ang index nila, which is 2. The same. But the radicands are different. So, sa una nating radical, we have 2. And on the second radical, we have 3. So, magkaiba. So, even though the same ang index nila, pero magkaiba yung radicand nila, so we can say that these two are not similar radicals. Because, again, similar radicals, dapat yung dalawang condition ay present on the radicals. The same ang index and at the same time, the same ang kanilang radicand. Okay? Another example. If we have y square root of x and 4 square root of y. So again, the same with number 1, the same ang index nila, which is 2, but they have different radicands, so these two are also unlike. Another example, if we have 3x cube root of 5 and 6x square root of 5. So if you notice, the same ang kanilang radicand, but the indexes are not the same. The index here is 3, while here is 2. So magkapareho ang radicand, magkaiba ang index. But still, these are considered unlike radicals kasi hindi parehong condition ay present sa kanila. Alright? So, I hope that you understood now the difference between like and unlike radicals. And again, it is important that in addition and subtraction of radical expressions, like radicals or similar radicals can only be added or subtracted. Alright? So let's have exercises or examples on how to add and subtract radical expressions. Let's say we have 7 cube root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5 minus the cube root of 5 plus 4 square root of 5. So, let us add these radicals. So, the first thing we need to do is to look for similar or like radicals. The same ang index at ang radicand. So, kung hahanapin natin yung radical dito na kapareho ng 7 cube root of 5, this one can be added or combined to 7 cube root of 5. Itong dalawa ang pwede nating isolve. So, in solving, we can only add or subtract the numbers outside the radical signs, or we call the coefficients. Alright? So, we have here the coefficient ng unang radical natin, which is 7. And then here, wala tayong nakikitang number beside this radical. So it means to say that there is 1 here. And the operation is subtraction because we have here minus. So it means 7 minus 1. Alright? So let's solve. 7 minus 1, that is equal to 6. And since pareho ito, cube root of 5, we will just copy it. So we're gonna have 6 cube root of 5. So again, we just add or subtract the coefficients or the numbers on the left side of our radical, yung hiwalay sa index and the radicand. And the same radical or the same index and radicand kokopyahin. Alright, that's why we have here 6 cube root of 5. And then, plus 3 square root of 5. So, this is square root of 5. So, hahanap tayo dito sa given natin na mayroong square root of 5. And that is this one. Alright, so these two are similar, so we can combine them. So we'll have positive 3 plus 4. The coefficients, positive 3 and positive 4. So 3 plus 4, that is equal to 7. And we will just copy square root of 5. So therefore, this is our answer. 6 cube root of 5 plus 7 square root of 5. This is final already because we cannot combine these two. And remember, on your final answers, you have to check if meron ba tayong pwede pang masimplify. Alright? We have to simplify the given expressions if possible. Or even in this form pa lang sila, if we still have something to be simplified, let us simplify them. Kasi baka pag na-simplify natin, makita natin na similar radicals pala yung bawat given or bawat terms sa ating given. Okay? Let's have another example. Let's have number 2. If we have 2 square root of 50 plus square root of 18. So, as you can see, magkaiba ang kanilang radicand. Pareho yung kanilang indexes, which is 2, but the radicands are not the same. But if you notice, the radicands can be simplified. So, let us try to simplify them. So, for the first radical, we have 2 square root of 50. We can simplify 50. So, when we simplify it, katulad ng binanggit doon sa nauna nating video, now we have to look for the factors of 50. Factors ng 50 where one of the factors is a perfect square since the index is 2. And if we'll think of that, we'll be able to get 25 times 2. So, kopyahin natin yung coefficient na 2 and then square root. The factors of 50 are 25 times 2 because 25 times 2 is 50. 25 is a perfect square. Mamaya i-simplify natin. Then plus the square root of 18. If we'll think of the factors of 18 where one of them is a perfect square, we will be able to think of 9 times 2. 9 is a perfect square, so we can simplify that later on. And then let's proceed. So getting the square root of 25, that will give us 5. So lalabasan natin yung 5 na yon. So we have coefficient here which is 2. I-multiply natin yon sa square root ng 25 which is 5. So nasa labas na siya ng radical sign. And then maiiwan sa loob ng radical sign yung 2. Alright? Again, saan galing ang 5? That is the square root of 25. Inilabas na natin siya ng radical sign. And ang 2 ay naiwan. Next, plus. The square root of 9 is 3. So, lalabas na yun ng radical sign. Square root of 2. May iwan ng 2 sa loob. Let's now multiply 2 and 5. So, that's equal to 2 times 5 is 10. Copy square root of 2 and then kopyahin din natin ito. And then, if you notice, pareho na yung ating radicand. So, the same ang index, the same ang radicand. So, it means to say that we can add these two radicals. So, again, in adding similar radicals, we just need to add their numerical coefficients or their coefficients, 10 and 3. 10 plus 3, that will give us 13. And then we will just copy the square root of 2. Therefore, this is our answer. 13 square root of 2. Alright? So, I hope that you understand this. If natutuhan ninyo from my previous video how to simplify radicals, and then you know the rules in adding and subtracting radicals, so this will be just easy for you now. But if medyo nakakalito pa siya, we have motto naman in math that practice makes perfect. Alright? Let's have example number 3. If we have y squared square root of x cube y and then minus the square root of x cube y raised to the 5th power minus xy square root of xy cube. Okay. So, kung titignan natin, pare-pareho sila ng index. But the radicands are not the same. But we can simplify some of them. The same with what we did with number 2. But if you'll notice, puro variables yung given natin dito. So let us simplify the following. Let's start with the first radical. So we will just copy y squared. And then, from the square root of x cubed y, ang x cubed ay pwede natin masimplify. So, if variable yung ating radicand, titingnan lang natin yung exponent. If ang exponent ay mas malaki kesa sa index, ibig sabihin, masisimplify yun. Pwedeng may lumabas. So, what we're going to do, since the index is 2, we will divide the exponent by 2. Alright, so 3 divided by 2 will be able to get 1. So, ibig sabihin, may isang lalabas na x. Alright? And then, may remainder pa na isa, ibig sabihin may maiiwan pa na isang x. So, maiiwan sa loob ng radical ang isa pang x, and then we will just copy y because the exponent of y is 1, kulang pa. Okay, para makalabas siya. Diba dapat 2 ang kanyang exponent or higher para may makalabas. Okay? Or makalabas siya. Alright? So, this is its simplified form. Minus. So, x cubed na naman, the same doon sa nauna. So, again, the index is 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1. So, may lalabas na isang x. And then, may maiiwan na isa. And then, y raised to 5. 5 divided by 2. That is 2. It means to say, may lalabas na dalawang y, kaya y squared. Alright? And then, may remainder na isa. It means may maiiwan pa na isang y. Next, minus. So, copy natin ang xy. So, x lang to, hindi siya makakalabas kasi 1 lang ang exponent niyan. But y cube ay may pwede tayong mailabas na y because 3 is greater than the index. So, 3 divided by 2 is 1. So, may lalabas na isang y. So, ilagay natin times y na. I-multiply natin sa nasa labas. May lalabas na isang y and then may remainder na isa na 1. So, may iwan na isang y. So, square root of, we will just copy x and then yung naiwan na isang y. Alright? Actually, we can multiply this too. That will give us y squared. Sige, isulat natin lahat para mas malinis tignan. So, we will just copy everything kasi yung pangatlong radical lang naman yung ating isosolve. So, we will just copy it. Square root of xy minus x. Y times y is y squared. Copy square root of xy. And then, since everything is simplified already, let us check which among the radicals can be combined. Alright? And if you notice, lahat sila pare-parehas ng radicand, which is xy. It means to say that we can add. Alright? We can add all of them. So, let us proceed. Let's take all the numerical coefficients muna. Let us group them together. Kasi radical, variables ito rather. So, kailangan natin i-apply pa rin ang rule ng algebra that we can only combine similar terms. Okay? So, group them together. Ang coefficient nito ay y squared x. Pwede rin natin itong isulat as xy squared. Okay? xy squared. And then, yung second is this one. We will take the operation minus xy squared. And yung third natin is this one. The operation is minus xy squared. And then, we will just copy square root of xy because that is what's common to them. Alright? Now, tignan natin itong tatlong ito. Alin ang pwede nating i-combine. Okay? So, again, similar terms here ay yung mga terms na pareho ang variable at pareho ang exponent sa mga variable. And if you notice, pare-pareho silang xy squared. So, we can combine them all. We will just combine their coefficients. Lahat sila may coefficient na 1. So, we're gonna have 1 minus 1. So, it's equal to 0. So, pwede na natin itong i-cancel out. Alright, so ito na lang ang natira. So, 0 minus xy squared. So, it means to say, we will just copy it. Negative xy squared. And then this one, square root of xy. So, this is our final answer. So, we need to be careful in doing this, guys, because yung iba dito parang nakakaduling kasi seems like pare-pareho naman. Okay? But we have to be careful in solving these kind of examples. Alright? So, let's have more examples. Let's have number 4. Example number 4. If we have the square root of 32 plus the square root of 18 minus the square root of 50. So, magkakaiba na naman yung radicand natin, but if you notice, all of them can be simplified. So, let us simplify. First, square root of 32. So, think of its factors where one of them is a perfect square. Then, we'll be able to think of 16 times 2. And then for 18, we have the same example a while ago. And the factors will be able to get are 9 and 2, or 9 times 2. And then minus the square root of 50, the same kanina, 25 times 2. Okay, so let us continue. The square root of 16 is 4. Labas na siya. And then naiwan ang 2. So 4 is square root of 2. Plus the square root of 9, which is 3. Labas na siya. Then may maiiwan na 2 sa loob. Then minus the square root of 25, which is 5. And then square root of 2. Naiwan sa loob ang 2. Now, since they are already simplified, mapapansin natin na pare-parehas na ang radicands. So, we can combine them all. So, let us combine. We have 4 plus 3. That will give us 7. 7 minus 5. That is equal to 2. And then we will just copy the square root of 2. So, this is the final answer. Okay. Another example. If we have number 5, x cube root of 16 minus 2 cube root of 54 plus cube root of 192. So, cube root, it means to say, kapag sinimplify natin, since iba-iba yung radicands, pag sinimplify natin, we will think of the factors of the radicands, where one of the factors is a perfect cube naman. Perfect cube, because the index is 3. So, let's do that on the first radical. So, we're gonna have x cube root of, so if we'll think of the factors of 16 where one is a perfect cube, we will get 8 times 2. 8 is a perfect cube. Minus 2 cube root of, for 54, we'll be able to get 27. 27 times 2. 27 times 2 is 54, and 27 is a perfect cube. Plus the cube root of, so for 192, we'll be able to get 64 times 3. 64 times 3 is 192. Simplify. So, minsan medyo matatagalan lang tayo sa pag-iisip ng mga factors. Okay, lalo na kung hindi tayo familiar sa mga perfect square, perfect cube. Alright? Or any numbers na makukuha na natin ng root depending on the index. So, sometimes it takes time to think of that. But, of course, we'll get used to it if we practice doing it. So, kaya nga, motto natin in math is practice makes perfect. Alright? So, let's start with the first radical. We have here x. And then the cube root of 8 is 2. Because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So, lalabas na yon. So, we're gonna have 8 times 2. And then cube root of naiwan ang 2. Minus 2. And then the cube root of 27 is 3. 3 times 3 times 3. That is equal to 27. So, lalabas na yon. So, since lalabas siya, imumultiply natin siya sa coefficient na nasa labas. Alright? And then, cube root of, may iwan ang 2. And then, plus 64. The cube root of 64 is 4. And then, may iwan sa loob ang 3. So, if you notice, these two are similar. So, we can combine them. Alright? Pero simplify muna natin. So, x times 2, ito ay magiging 2x. And then, cube root of 2 minus 2 times 3 is 6. Cube root of 2. And then, for the third, we will just copy it. So, combine these two. We're gonna have the coefficients 2x minus 6. So, hindi naman natin siya pwedeng i-combine. So, just copy it as 2x minus 6 lang. Alright? And then, we will copy the cube root of 2. Lagyan natin ng parenthesis. Okay? Kasi if not, pag walang parenthesis, it will look like yung negative 6 lang ang may cube root of 2. So, para malinaw na both 2x and negative 6 ay may cube root of 2. And then, we will just copy it plus 4 cube root of 3. So, this is our final answer. So, that will be all about addition and subtraction of radical expressions. On the next video, I am going to discuss about multiplication, and the other on a separate video is a division of radical expressions. So, I hope that you learn from this video. See you next class. Goodbye.